Welcome to my speech about our new program. So first, about LARUS. LARUS is an IPv4 leasing company. We are probably the biggest leasing company on the planet. We serve over 60 nations worldwide with thousands of telecom operators, cloud providers, and hosting providers. And collectively, we are offering more than 10 million IPs to our customers on demand. And we've been in business for almost a decade. Actually, next year will be our first decade celebration. So this is a little bit about us. And today I'm going to introduce a new program which we recently launched. And this program is about looking for partners. So first, a bit of context. What is IPv4 and what is the problem here and what are we trying to achieve here? IPv4 scarcity has been around more than a decade now. Since the first round of IPv4 address in 2012, the world has been craving for IPv4 in the secondary market. And here is where LARUS came in. LARUS provides an on-demand service on the IP addresses. So instead of high cost and a complicated buying process, which you're going through with the original internet registries for months at a time, with LARUS, you can get your IP in 24 hours at any time, at any location you want. Now we are looking for network partners, as we call it. What is a network partner? As you know, the IP address geolocation is that you need to use this IP in a location for a certain period of time. Then the database, such as MaxMind, IP2 location, will update their database, then update to the content provider. This process requires IP address being announced and used locally for a certain amount of time. But LARUS is a carrier, is an operator-neutral company. We don't operate our own infrastructure. Here is how partner comes in. So partner provides a POP location. So you give us a server you spare in your data center which is not in use. We will announce our IP addresses through our own ASN, through a BGP session to your network. And a few weeks later, when all the geolocation database and the content provider update their geolocation, then those IPs will be ready for the local market use. And this is a benefit to LARUS, of course. But what is the benefit to the partner? The partner can access all our IPs announcing their locations through the partner network on demand through API. So what you will have is that you will be the official network partner in our website and all our media channels. You will monetize your existing POPs with no extra capex. What that means is when you offer us your idle servers, networks, and the infrastructure which is not in use, we will then calculate it by our algorithm through a median market price for that particular location. Then we will give you a credit value in our system. And you can use that credit automated to deduct from your purchase price, from your leasing price of the IPv4 addresses. And such deduction is not one time, but continuous. So as long as you provide us the infrastructure, we calculate MRC, monthly recurring costs of those infrastructure, and every month you receive credit in our platform to use for the lease of IP addresses. And in addition to that, you will have access to on-demand APIs. What does that mean is that your system will do an API call every time your customer needs IP addresses. And that API call will directly to our routers in your data center, and our router will release those IP to your network instantly. And then you can automated assign those IPs to your customer. So the whole process is automated. By partnering with us, you basically guaranteed an on-demand access to tens of million IP addresses without need ever to go into a buy-sell market or looking for a vendor or going through a complicated procurement process. And finally, obviously, is that we provide you special discount. All partners will receive a partner-only discount that are not available to the public. So one of the key advantages of doing this, as I just said, is a geolocation advantage. The IP, which, let's say if you give us a location here in Indonesia, and we announce our IP in Indonesia, and a few months later, those IP became Indonesian IPs. And you do an API call for this location to assign to your local Indonesian customer, then the customer will instantly receive a geolocation ready IP addresses. So they will have no problem to visit the local content such as TikTok, YouTube, or whatever streaming service or content provider that might be without delay. And because they are well geolocated, it's better for streaming, gaming, fintech, all sorts of applications where geolocation matters. And obviously, there are also helps with your customer to go through the loophole and loopholes with e-commerce and online shoppings, because if you shop an Indonesian website from a foreign IP, that might trigger all sorts of fraud prevention alarms. So this will guarantee a smooth user experience for the commercial business end users as well as residential end users. And there are some mutual marketing benefits to this program as well. You will be co-branding listed in all our media channels as an official partner. You will go through all the campaigns with us globally. LARUS spend on average $2 to $3 million on marketing globally, attending all sorts of conferences. And every time we go there, your logo will be on our brochure, your logo will be with our backdrop, your logo will be in my presentation. So we'll give you a global exposure that many of the local providers not necessarily have. And we also will host joint activities, case studies, events with our partners for the local market. And we will allow you to use LARUS logo with all your market offerings to assure your customer for instant access to the unlimited IPv4 addresses. So some typical use case here, let's start from telecom. Your average home user needs an IP addresses. But what if there is planning expanding for a small town, a small community, and you need IPs? An average procurement process for an IP and transfer process will take you more than 6 months. But now, with partner with LARUS, with some simple infrastructures, you will have it in minutes, and you don't have to buy all the IP at once. You can gradually deploy the customers as your business grows. You can get at minimum as a /24, which is 256 IPs at a time. You don't even need to have upfront OpEx costs to factor in your potential lead time for procurement process. An assignment process to API generally takes less than 24 hours. And most often, if you do that within working hours, it's probably less than 4 or 3 hours. It'll be instantly ready for your large deployment at any time. And then for the CDNs, obviously, a local geolocated IP will provide you a much advantage of recognition from your customers, and your customer will know you are truly at the edge. And for the cloud providers, that many of the cloud providers offer service to the e-commerce providers, TikTok content providers, while geolocation is key. And our geo-ready IP addresses will provide you an unbeatable advantage to your service which you provided to your customers. And no other provider on the market will be able to provide you that vast amount of IPv4 access on the instant on-demand basis, which is all geolocation ready. You will never ever need to be worried if this IP was actually from this country, or if you will never ever to worry about if the user will complain when they visiting e-commerce website or with the TikTok, they are not getting their expected local content. And for the fintech e-commerce, it's great for fraud preventions. Obviously, when you are a local website only available in local language, a foreign IP always sounds suspicious. And instant available local IP become more and more important to the continuous and efficiency of your business. So here is some additional details on the offerings. As you see, this is our current world map on all the IP addresses, all our partner locations that we currently have. LARUS is to avoid over competition. We are accepting 2 partners per location at a maximum. So that provides you a competitive edge towards your competitors if they will have to wait and sourcing IP for 3 to 6 months before their next new customer. And you will have it in next 4 hours. Our selection criteria of our partnership is entirely based on your reachability of your network. So how many peering partners you have, how many exchange points you present, And of course, the wider the reach of your network, the more likely we'll select you to become a partner. And as you see in this map, this is our current existing locations. But don't feel discouraged. We are open. Many of those locations, we still only get one partner, and we are open for any of the additional partners to provide us the redundancy we are needed. So from US, we've got Dallas, San Jose, and Chicago, and we've got Mexico, and in Latin America, we've got Peru, Brazil, and in Europe, we currently only have United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, and London. We want Paris, we want Spain, and we also lacking locations in the Middle East, where there are great business opportunities for us for the local demand. Obviously, Africa still is an uncharted water for us. If any African operators here would like to provide us location, we could really appreciate it. And we have most locations here in Asia, but don't feel discouraged. Again, with most of those locations, we will have one partner at the moment. If you want to provide additional redundancy, we are more than welcome, especially if you are local operators with wide reach to end users and wide reach to the exchange point globally. We definitely welcome you on board to sign our agreement and become our partner. So don't just be a network, be our network partners. And I hope this presentation explains this initiative. We started this initiative a couple months ago, and you can register in larus.net, our website, and apply there. We've got the portals. You can input all your network offerings. Then it goes through approval process. We will evaluate the MRC of your network offerings and offer you credit based on the MRCs and eco credit. So you're not giving us free infrastructure. You use those infrastructure, the idle infrastructure, traded for our IP addresses. It's almost like you sold them, but without actual monetary transactions. So this is our program. To summarize, we allow you to have instant access to geolocation-ready local IP addresses, which nobody ever have in the industry before. We allow you to monetize your idle network infrastructures, servers for a critical resource you need to operate your network. And we offer a co-branding opportunity with LARUS, with our multi-million annual marketing budget. We offer you a global exposure to every conference that we went. Your logo will be there. And I hope this is a clear presentation. Are there any questions? Yes, please. Thank you very much for the question. It's indeed a very important question. Before we go in that, I think I want to briefly touch on a simple subject of how geolocation actually works. Geolocation works as that if an IP being used in a certain location for a certain amount of time, a geolocation database will update those geolocations and they will then update to the content provider. So basically, it means that this IP being announced for that area for a certain amount of time, then globally be recognized for that area. So the first question for the e-commerce, it's extremely important, especially for the local e-commerce provider, e-com website, to know this IP actually came from that location they expect customer came from. Let's say if you're a local website here in Bali and you only sell in Bali, and if someone actually in Paris want to order a pair of headphones from you, you will say, is that fraud? And the determination of that is most time 99% based on the geolocation of the IP addresses. So it's extremely important. And your second question, how we make sure it is, that go back to how geolocation works. Once we announce our IP address, for example, in Thailand infrastructure for 2 months' time, everybody in the world will know this IP belongs to this location in Indonesia. And then the e-commerce provider will have confidence to receive those IPs, those end users, as their genuine customer. Otherwise, if we give you international IPs, then the e-commerce say, okay, well, we got order from Germany. Is that real? It's probably a credit card fraud or something. Yeah, I hope that answered the question. Well, thank you very much for hearing my presentation and much appreciated for your time. Thank you.